Row, Super Bowl 56. Lucas Panzica's back in Nashville. He's making it happen. I got Will Bowling to my right. I got Kirby Allen Kirby out there scouring the sad Radio Row landscape for all manner of people who are trying to push some products and chop it up on Sports Talk Radio. Pushing products, pushing players, pushing it all here in L.A. 615-737-1045. You can jump in if you like. We'd be happy to have you. 615-737-1045. Breaking news, by the way. Lucas, give me the breaking news sounder that I absolutely despise, if you would.
Well, it depends what kind of breaking news. We're talking Titans, just breaking sports news,
It's
breaking
breaking
balls?
Titans news, in fact.
Breaking Titans news on 104.5 The Zone.
Mike Vrabel, who is in the running for Coach of the Year, the real Coach of the Year. Lucas, you said, what, his third Coach of the Year? No, these fan vote things, they don't matter. Get out of here.
Well, one of them was Pro Football Writers. It's not all a fan vote.
Well, ours doesn't count either because that's not the one that people actually care about. It's the one that gets awarded at NFL Honors tonight. Mike Vrabel has been spotted in the LAX. He's in LAX, so he is, in fact, here. We were hoping that he would win Coach of the Year and just not show up to accept the award in pure Vrabel fashion, but he has been spotted in LAX. Stephanie, who is the Tennessee Titan Fan of the Year, forgive me, I don't recall Stephanie's last name off the top of my head, but Stephanie of the Ladies of Tennessee Titans, she was voted as the Titans Fan of the Year. Fan of the Year for every NFL team gets to attend the Super Bowl, and Stephanie's got a selfie with Mike. I guess they were on the same flight here out to Los Angeles. So disappointing to see the situation come about that Mike Vrabel is actually going to be in attendance to probably accept the NFL Coach of the Year award.
Not disappointing that he is wearing his Run the Damn Ball hat.
He is wearing the Run the Damn Ball hat. You think he did that on purpose? Yeah.
No, he accidentally put on the hat.
What do you got? You can't hear the laughs that you got from Will and Kirby Allen Kirby. I hope you're happy with yourself.
I can hear Kirby.
You can hear Kirby chuckling.
Yeah. I love Kirby's laugh.
Through the smoke and the Pepsis, you can hear the chuckle of Kirby Allen Kirby. Kirby spent more time sunning himself on the sunny side of the convention center than anything else. That and laughing at Lucas's jokes at my expense. That's been the Kirby Allen Kirby experience out here at Radio Row. But given that Mike Vrabel is now in attendance or in L.A. for the NFL Honors Awards tonight, which you can see on both ESPN and the NFL Network right now, or not right now, but later this evening, I think this is going to be I think this is a good time to transition into the conversation about A.J. Brown and what his contract estimates are going to be this offseason. It's come up a couple of times, but now we have a legitimate valuation for what A.J. Brown, what a contract extension for A.J. Brown could look like as an early extension candidate from this 2019 NFL draft. There's a bunch of players who are going to be in the ranks for this. You've got Deebo Samuel, who qualifies from that 2019 class, A.J. Brown. You go through the list, DK Metcalf as well. Those are going to be the three biggest of these names that are now eligible for offseason extensions. And I think the question for the audience is this. If you want to jump in, we'd love to have you. 615-737-1045. Do you want A.J. Brown extended this offseason? Do you want him extended as soon as humanly possible? Or do you think that this man, who's, you could argue he's already in the top three of wide receivers at that position that this franchise has ever had, going back to Oilers years, to the Super Bowl era of the Titans with Derek Mason and Drew Bennett. There is an argument that can easily be made that A.J. Brown is probably the most talented, but so far, only 3 years into his NFL career, is one of the best players at that position that this franchise has ever had. You want to pay him, or you want him to prove it to you? 615-737-1045. I think that is going to be it's going to be I don't think it's that difficult of a decision, to be honest with you. As far as I'm concerned, you look at the ways that this man produced and understanding that his availability was not where you'd like it to be this season, but fighting through 2 knee issues last year where he came into this season off a double knee scope. A.J. Brown has been one of the most impressive players in the NFL. He leads the league as far as yards per route run since he came into the NFL in the first 3 years of his career. In the first 3 years of any wide receiver's career, A.J. Brown is tops. Coming into the 2019 draft, 2.53 yards per route run. He's above Deebo Samuel, Odell Beckham Jr., Victor Cruz, Brandon Marshall, Percy Harvin, Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill, Hakeem Nicks, and A.J. Green round out the top 10. And A.J. is a full 0.1 over Deebo Samuel as far as the separation that he is able to create. He's insanely productive, he's insanely competitive, and he's one of the most complete wide receivers in the NFL right now. There's not, you don't look at the route tree and say, okay, we know that A.J. Brown can't run this route. And if the contract estimates at this point are 4 years, $80 million, an average annual value of $20 million per year, which puts him right in the conversation among the top of the position, is that something that you want done now, or do you think that A.J. Brown has more to prove? 615-737-1045. You can jump in on this conversation if you like. I'll tell you how the Titans feel about it coming up next as well, and we can get into this conversation about, has A.J. Brown in a limited sample size been able to produce with the draft position, understanding that he's not a first-round pick. It's crazy to say. This guy has been a revelation. And honestly, if you go through the way that the Titans struggled in the 2021 season without some of their star players, there is a more notable difference without A.J. Brown on the field than there was even with Derrick Henry, who's an MVP candidate. I think that is something that, it gets glossed over because Derrick's the favorite, right? Derrick's the favorite son, SEC country, Heisman Trophy winner, running back built like a Greek god and rushes for 2,000 yards, right? Like he's got all of the things that make you love Derrick Henry. And I'm not saying you got to love Derrick Henry any less. But what I'm saying to you is when you consider the production and the way that these guys at various positions dropped off during the course of the year, there's no disputing that A.J. Brown was the biggest missing piece throughout the course of their regular season, and that when they fed him the ball, like the Niners game, for example, there's precious little stopping this guy. Get into this conversation more on the other side. Your phone calls as well, live from Radio Row here in Los Angeles, site of Super Bowl 56. I'm Buck Reising with you on 104.5 The Zone.